Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm and unshaken, even when life seems to be falling apart around them? What's their secret? Are they simply lucky, or have they mastered something few ever do, emotional self-mastery? In a world where even the smallest inconvenience can send us spiraling into stress or overthinking, the ability to stay grounded and composed becomes a rare superpower. But here's the thing: true inner peace isn't about avoiding problems. It's about building a mindset so strong that nothing external can disturb your internal world. Imagine facing a crisis and staying calm, focused, and clear-headed. Doesn't that sound like a skill worth developing? In today's video, I'm going to share 12 powerful principles that will help you build emotional resilience. Principles that will teach you to not only survive chaos but to rise above it with strength, clarity, and confidence. Stick with me, and you'll learn how to turn challenges into opportunities and become the unshakable person you've always wanted to be. 1. Emotional self-mastery. Understanding your power. Emotional self-mastery is the cornerstone of emotional resilience. It's about understanding that your emotions, while powerful, do not have to control your actions or decisions. In fact, emotional self-mastery isn't the absence of negative emotions, but the ability to manage them effectively. Every one of us faces moments of stress, anger, sadness, and frustration, but it is how we choose to respond to these emotions that define our emotional strength. Psychological depth. The power of emotional awareness. Psychologically, emotional self-mastery begins with awareness. It's about acknowledging that our feelings are valid but not allowing them to dominate our actions. Emotions arise in response to stimuli, whether it's a comment from a friend, a traffic jam, or an unexpected financial setback. The key is to create a space between the stimulus, the event or situation, and the response, your emotional reaction. This moment of pause allows you to regain control, reflect, and decide how you want to respond, rather than reacting impulsively. A major challenge for many individuals is the tendency to become emotionally attached to every opinion, outcome, or situation. When you tie your sense of self-worth to external factors, you become vulnerable to stress and anxiety. The more you are emotionally reactive, the more you give away your power. By mastering your emotions, you stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your inner peace. Story/example: the calm in the chaos. Take the example of Sarah, a 62-year-old woman who recently faced the sudden loss of her job. Instead of spiraling into panic or anger, she paused and allowed herself to process the news with clarity. Her initial emotional reaction was a surge of frustration, but she chose not to let it define her next move. By taking a step back, Sarah evaluated the situation. She knew that her reaction would influence the next chapter of her life, so she decided to respond with calmness and clarity. This isn't to say that Sarah didn't experience the normal human emotions of fear and disappointment. However, by practicing emotional self-mastery, she was able to regain control of her response. Over time, Sarah cultivated this habit of pausing before reacting, which became second nature. Actionable advice: how to build emotional self-mastery. Pause before reacting when you feel triggered. Practice taking a deep breath and counting to 10 before responding. This simple technique gives you the space to choose a thoughtful response. Recognize your triggers, identify situations, people, or events that tend to provoke strong emotional reactions. Once you understand your triggers, you can prepare to handle them more calmly. Reflect regularly, at the end of each day. Take a few minutes to reflect on how you handled emotional moments. What went well? Where could you improve? This self-reflection is key to emotional growth. By developing emotional self-mastery, you reclaim control over how life affects you, giving you the resilience to face challenges with strength and composure. 2. Detachment from criticism and failure, transforming challenges into opportunities. The ability to detach from criticism and failure is a vital part of emotional resilience. When we allow ourselves to take criticism personally, it's easy to feel defeated, defensive, or demotivated. However, those who have mastered emotional resilience understand that failure and criticism are not reflections of their worth. They are simply feedback, guiding them toward growth. Psychological depth, reframing failure. Reframing failure is one of the most powerful tools you can use to build resilience. Psychologically, when we experience failure, we often internalize it as a personal flaw. However, this distorted thinking leads to unnecessary self-doubt and a fear of future failure. On the other hand, reframing failure as a learning opportunity allows you to grow stronger with every setback. Similarly, criticism can sting, but when you detach from the emotional reaction, it becomes a tool for self-improvement rather than a source of pain. Many of us get caught in this cycle of needing validation from others. But when you let go of the need for approval and see criticism as part of your learning process, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Story/example: the resilience of Thomas Edison. Consider the example of Thomas Edison. He faced thousands of failures before he successfully invented the light bulb. Each failure, rather than discouraging him, served as a lesson. He once famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset is an exemplary model of emotional resilience, the ability to detach from failure and use it as valuable feedback, rather than something to fear or internalize. Actionable advice: how to reframe criticism and failure. Separate the feedback from your identity. When you receive criticism, remind yourself that it's about your actions or ideas, not who you are as a person. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you face failure. Understand that mistakes are part of growth, and treat yourself with the same kindness you would a close friend. Focus on solutions, not problems. Instead of dwelling on the criticism or the failure, shift your focus to what you can learn from it. Ask yourself, what can I do better next time? By practicing detachment, you empower yourself to grow from criticism and failure, turning them into opportunities for self-improvement. 3. The power of silence, finding strength in quietness. In a world that's constantly talking, sometimes silence is the most powerful tool in your emotional resilience toolkit. The ability to stay silent when everything around you is loud or chaotic can be incredibly grounding. Silence allows you to control your response, observe others, and regain your composure, all without saying a word. Psychological depth, the strategic use of silence. Psychologically, silence has a profound effect on both our emotional state and how others perceive us. In tense situations, silence can serve as a powerful nonverbal response that communicates strength, confidence, and control. It's not about shutting down or avoiding conflict, but rather about choosing not to engage in unnecessary verbal battles that drain your energy and disrupt your peace. Silence also gives you the space to process your emotions before reacting. When faced with conflict or criticism, pausing to be silent allows you to think carefully about how you want to respond, rather than reacting impulsively. Story/example: the wisdom of Mahatma Gandhi. A great example of the power of silence comes from Mahatma Gandhi. In the face of oppression and injustice, Gandhi often chose silence as a form of resistance. He understood that silence in the midst of conflict didn't signify weakness. It was a way of reclaiming power and maintaining inner peace. His silent protests, most notably the Salt March, were powerful demonstrations of how silence could speak volumes without uttering a single word. Actionable advice: how to use silence for strength. Practice quiet moments. Start by incorporating moments of silence into your daily routine, whether it's during a walk, while meditating, or simply sitting in a quiet room. Respond with silence in conflict, intense conversations. Allow yourself the power of pause. When you feel triggered, resist the urge to immediately respond. Instead, take a deep breath and reflect before you speak. Observe before reacting, in conversations or conflicts. Use silence to observe what others are saying, without feeling the need to fill the space with your own words. By embracing silence, you gain control over your emotional reactions and can navigate challenging situations with a calm, composed mindset. 4. Building resilience through daily discipline. Emotional resilience isn't something you're born with, it's a skill that you develop over time. Like physical strength. Resilience grows through consistent practice and small daily acts of discipline. This could mean pausing before reacting, practicing mindfulness, or maintaining a positive outlook even in the face of adversity. Psychological depth. The role of discipline in building resilience. The psychology behind resilience building is rooted in habit formation. Each time you choose a disciplined response, whether it's staying calm in a stressful situation, practicing gratitude in difficult times, or reflecting on your emotions, you reinforce that behavior in your mind. Over time, these habits become automatic, and emotional resilience becomes part of who you are. Discipline also plays a role in reducing impulsive reactions. Instead of being driven by emotions, you learn to pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with your values. The more you practice these small acts of discipline, the stronger your emotional resilience becomes. Story/example. The resilience of Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs are often considered the epitome of resilience. Their rigorous training involves daily physical and mental exercises designed to push them to their limits. However, their mental toughness is not just about endurance, it's about mastering the ability to stay calm under extreme pressure. One of the keys to their resilience is the daily discipline they practice, mentally and physically. By constantly pushing themselves, they build not just strength but the mental clarity needed to succeed in high-stress situations. Actionable advice. Building daily resilience habits. Set a daily emotional goal. Every day, commit to handling one stressful situation with calmness and clarity. Track your progress and celebrate small victories. Practice mindfulness regularly. Set aside a few minutes each day for mindfulness meditation to strengthen your ability to stay present and grounded. Create small routines of self-care, whether it's journaling, deep breathing, or taking a walk. Incorporate these small practices into your day to reinforce emotional resilience. By committing to daily discipline, you gradually build a mindset that remains calm and composed, no matter what challenges you face. 5. Letting go of control. Embracing what you can't change. The desire to control every aspect of life is one of the biggest sources of stress and frustration. We all have a natural urge to control our environment, our relationships, and our outcomes. However, this desire for control can be a silent form of suffering. Letting go of what you can't control doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from unnecessary stress and focusing your energy on what truly matters. Psychological depth. The illusion of control. Psychologically, the need for control often stems from a fear of uncertainty or the unknown. However, much of what we try to control is beyond our influence. Trying to control others, the outcome of situations, or external events only leads to anxiety and frustration. By acknowledging that some things are beyond your control, you can focus on taking meaningful action in areas where you do have influence. Story/example. The wisdom of the Serenity Prayer. The Serenity Prayer, widely known in 12-step recovery programs, offers a profound lesson in letting go of control. It states, "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference." This simple prayer encapsulates the essence of emotional resilience, recognizing the limits of control, while embracing the courage to take action where you can. Actionable advice. How to let go of control. Identify what you can and can't control. Take a moment to list the things in your life that are within your control and those that aren't. Focus your energy on what you can change. Accept uncertainty. Practice embracing uncertainty by gradually exposing yourself to situations where you have no control. Over time, this will help you become more comfortable with the unknown. Surrender to the flow. Instead of resisting the natural flow of life, try to go with it. Trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. And focus on responding with calmness and grace. Letting go of control allows you to conserve your energy, focus on meaningful actions, and ultimately, build greater resilience in the face of life's challenges. 6. Practicing gratitude. shifting your focus to the positive. Gratitude is a powerful tool for cultivating emotional resilience. When faced with adversity, it's easy to focus on the negative aspects of life, the challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that seem to overshadow everything else. However, practicing gratitude helps shift our perspective toward the positive aspects, no matter how small they may seem. It allows us to appreciate what we have, even when things are tough. Psychological depth, the science of gratitude. From a psychological perspective, gratitude is deeply linked to positive emotions and well-being. Research has shown that regular gratitude practice increases happiness and reduces depression. When we focus on the things we are thankful for, it creates a positive feedback loop in our brain, rewiring our thinking to highlight the good instead of the bad. This shift in focus is key to emotional resilience, as it helps us develop a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. Moreover, gratitude enhances our social connections, which are essential for resilience. Expressing gratitude to others strengthens relationships and provides emotional support during difficult times. When we acknowledge the kindness and support of those around us, it fosters a sense of belonging and interconnectedness, which further bolsters our emotional resilience. Story/example: the power of gratitude in adversity. Consider the story of Maria, a 68-year-old woman who faced the sudden death of her spouse. Despite the overwhelming grief, she began a daily gratitude practice. Each day, Maria would write down 3 things she was thankful for, whether it was a warm cup of tea, a kind gesture from a neighbor, or a moment of peace in her day. Over time, this small practice began to shift her focus from loss to appreciation, helping her heal emotionally and find joy again. Actionable advice: how to practice gratitude. Start a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It can be big or small, but the key is consistency. Express gratitude to others. Take time to thank the people in your life who have made a positive impact, whether through a simple thank you note or a heartfelt conversation. Shift your focus when you find yourself dwelling on negative thoughts. Consciously redirect your attention to something positive, even if it's just a small detail in your day. By practicing gratitude, you train your brain to focus on the positive, which helps you remain emotionally resilient in the face of challenges. 7. Embracing change, the flexibility to adapt. Change is inevitable, and learning to embrace it is essential for emotional resilience. Whether it's a career shift, a move to a new city, or the changes that come with aging, life constantly presents us with transitions. Many people resist change because it brings uncertainty. But those who are emotionally resilient understand that change is a natural part of life and can offer opportunities for growth and renewal. Psychological depth, the fear of change and how to overcome it. Psychologically, our resistance to change is often rooted in fear: fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, or fear of failure. However, this fear can be paralyzing and prevent us from embracing new possibilities. On the other hand, those who embrace change recognize it as a necessary part of life that can lead to personal growth, new experiences, and unexpected blessings. Research in psychology has shown that the more we practice embracing change, the more adaptable we become. This adaptability is a key component of resilience, allowing us to face transitions with a sense of calm and confidence. Story/example: the resilience of Joan, who started over at 60. Joan, 60, found herself facing an unexpected job loss after 30 years in the same position. Rather than resisting the change, she chose to embrace the opportunity for a fresh start. She enrolled in online courses to learn new skills, networked with new people, and began exploring a career she had always dreamed of. Although the process was challenging, Joan's ability to adapt to the change allowed her to find new fulfillment in her life. Actionable advice: how to embrace change. Focus on the opportunities change brings. Rather than seeing change as a threat, try to identify the positive opportunities it could bring, such as personal growth or new experiences. Take small steps toward change. If you're facing a major life change, break it down into smaller, manageable steps. This will help you build confidence as you navigate the transition. Stay flexible. Practice being open to new ideas and perspectives, and remain willing to adapt as circumstances evolve. By embracing change with an open mind, you develop the flexibility to navigate life's transitions with resilience and strength. 8. Building strong support networks. The importance of connection. One of the most important aspects of emotional resilience is having a strong support network. No one can navigate life's challenges alone, and having a circle of friends, family, or community can provide invaluable emotional support during tough times. Resilient individuals understand the power of connection and seek out relationships that uplift and encourage them. Psychological depth. The role of social support in resilience. Research consistently shows that social support is a key factor in building emotional resilience. People who have strong, supportive relationships are better able to cope with stress, manage emotions, and bounce back from adversity. This support acts as a buffer against negative emotions and can provide a sense of belonging and comfort during challenging times. Moreover, social connections enhance our sense of purpose and give us a reason to keep going, even when things feel tough. The emotional validation and practical help from others help to reinforce our own resilience. Story/example: the strength of community in aging. Consider the case of Harold, an 80-year-old man who struggled with loneliness after his wife passed away. While initially hesitant, Harold eventually reached out to a local senior group where he found companionship and support. The connections he made in this group not only provided him with emotional comfort, but also helped him regain a sense of purpose. Harold's ability to open up to others and build new relationships became a cornerstone of his emotional resilience. Actionable advice: how to build a strong support network. Reach out to others if you're feeling isolated. Take the initiative to reconnect with family members, old friends, or coworkers. Don't wait for others to make the first move. Join communities or groups. Consider joining a club, volunteer organization, or hobby group where you can meet people who share your interests. Offer support to others. Building relationships is a two-way street. By offering your support to others, you create a network of mutual care and respect. Having strong connections helps you remain resilient during life's most difficult moments, reminding you that you are never alone. 9. Developing a growth mindset. Seeing challenges as opportunities. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort, learning, and perseverance. Resilient people cultivate this mindset, understanding that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. When you adopt a growth mindset, you are less likely to view setbacks as failures and more likely to see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Psychological depth. The power of belief in personal growth. Psychologically, the growth mindset is transformative. People with a growth mindset believe that they can improve through effort and are not limited by fixed abilities. They embrace challenges because they see them as chances to expand their capabilities. Research by Carol Dweck, a leading psychologist in this field, shows that individuals with a growth mindset tend to be more resilient and motivated, especially when faced with difficulties. The opposite, a fixed mindset, leads to the belief that talents and abilities are innate and cannot be changed. This belief often leads to fear of failure and avoidance of challenges. On the other hand, those with a growth mindset see effort as a necessary part of success and embrace failure as part of the learning process. Story/example: the resilience of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, is a perfect example of a growth mindset. Early in his career, he was cut from his high school basketball team, a setback that might have ended many young athletes' dreams. Instead, Jordan used this failure as motivation to work even harder, eventually becoming a global icon in sports. His resilience was rooted in his belief that failure wasn't a reflection of his potential, it was an opportunity to improve. Actionable advice: how to develop a growth mindset. Embrace challenges. Rather than avoiding difficult tasks, take them on with the belief that you can learn from them and grow stronger. Reframe failure as feedback. When you fail, reflect on what you can learn from the experience rather than seeing it as an insurmountable setback. Celebrate effort over results. Focus on the effort you put into a task, rather than only the outcome. This will help reinforce your belief in continuous growth and development. By adopting a growth mindset, you reframe challenges as opportunities, strengthening your emotional resilience in the process. 10. Self-care and stress management. Prioritizing your well-being. Taking care of your physical and mental health is a foundational aspect of emotional resilience. Without proper self-care, it's difficult to maintain emotional strength in the face of adversity. Resilient individuals understand the importance of balancing work, rest, and play, ensuring that their bodies and minds are nurtured so they can face life's challenges with strength. Psychological depth. The link between self-care and resilience. Self-care is not just about pampering yourself. It's about ensuring that you are mentally and physically equipped to handle stress. When you prioritize self-care, you lower your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase the production of feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine. This creates a positive cycle that improves your emotional resilience, helping you respond to stress in a healthier way. Moreover, regular self-care practices improve your ability to focus, reduce anxiety, and enhance overall well-being. In times of stress, these habits become essential for maintaining balance and emotional clarity. Story/example. The importance of self-care and mental health. Consider the case of Linda, a 72-year-old woman who had been caring for her ill spouse for several years. Over time, the emotional and physical strain began to take a toll on her own health. After a period of burnout, Linda realized she needed to prioritize her well-being. She began taking time each week for activities that recharged her, whether it was a yoga class, a quiet walk in nature, or simply spending time with friends. This shift not only improved her own health but also made her a more effective caregiver. Actionable advice: how to prioritize self-care. Set aside time for rest. Make sure to schedule regular breaks throughout your day to rest and recharge, whether it's through sleep, relaxation, or simply stepping away from your responsibilities. Engage in physical activity. Exercise, even if it's just a short walk, can reduce stress and improve mood. Practice mindfulness. Incorporate mindfulness exercises, such as deep breathing, meditation, or journaling, to reduce stress and improve mental clarity. By prioritizing self-care, you build the foundation for emotional resilience, ensuring that you are equipped to face life's challenges with strength and clarity. 11. Cultivating patience. The ability to endure through adversity. In a world that increasingly values instant results, patience may seem like a lost virtue. However, it is an essential element of emotional resilience. Cultivating patience allows you to endure through difficult situations without becoming overwhelmed or defeated. Resilient people understand that many of life's challenges take time to resolve, and they approach these obstacles with a calm, patient mindset. Psychological depth. The role of patience in emotional strength. Patience is not about passively waiting for things to improve. It's about remaining grounded in the face of adversity and trusting the process. Psychologically, patience is closely tied to emotional regulation. When we are patient, we are able to manage our emotions more effectively, resisting impulsive reactions or feelings of frustration. Studies have shown that patience is linked to better mental health, as it reduces feelings of anxiety and stress by promoting a sense of control and acceptance. Patience also helps us build tolerance for discomfort. Resilient individuals recognize that discomfort is a natural part of growth, and they are able to sit with it without allowing it to overwhelm them. By practicing patience, we give ourselves the space to heal, grow, and adapt over time. Story/example. The resilience of Barbara, who overcame chronic pain. Barbara, a 63-year-old woman, had been dealing with chronic pain for years due to arthritis. Instead of seeking a quick fix or succumbing to frustration, Barbara embraced the idea that healing takes time. She focused on managing her symptoms through physical therapy, diet changes, and mindfulness techniques. While progress was slow, Barbara remained patient with herself, trusting the process. Over time, her resilience and ability to endure through the discomfort helped her regain mobility and live a more fulfilling life. Actionable advice: how to cultivate patience. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness exercises, such as meditation or deep breathing, to help you stay calm and present in the moment. Set realistic expectations. Understand that not all challenges can be resolved quickly. Set achievable goals and celebrate small progress along the way. Develop emotional self-awareness. Recognize when impatience arises and take a moment to reflect on how you can respond more calmly. By cultivating patience, you can better navigate life's difficulties and develop the emotional endurance needed for long-term resilience. 12. Finding purpose. The key to lasting emotional resilience. One of the most powerful aspects of emotional resilience is having a sense of purpose. Purpose gives us direction and motivation, especially during times of hardship. When we feel that our lives have meaning, we are more likely to persevere through challenges and remain emotionally strong. Resilient individuals often have a clear sense of purpose. Whether it's caring for loved ones, pursuing a passion, or contributing to their community. Psychological depth. The power of purpose in resilience. Having a sense of purpose is a fundamental psychological need. Research shows that people who feel they have a purpose in life are more likely to have higher levels of well-being, lower rates of depression, and greater emotional resilience. Purpose provides a sense of fulfillment and can help individuals cope with stress and adversity by offering a greater sense of meaning behind their struggles. It motivates us to keep going, even when the path is difficult. Moreover, purpose can help shift our perspective on setbacks. Rather than seeing obstacles as insurmountable, we begin to view them as opportunities to grow in service of something greater than ourselves. Story/example. The purpose-driven life of Tom, a retired veteran. Tom, a 75-year-old retired military veteran, struggled with depression after leaving the workforce. Feeling lost and without direction, he found it difficult to adjust to his new life. However, Tom discovered a new sense of purpose when he began volunteering at a local veterans organization. Helping other veterans cope with their struggles gave him a renewed sense of meaning. Over time, Tom's emotional resilience grew as he realized that his life still had great value and purpose, even after retirement. Actionable advice: how to find purpose. Explore your passions. Reflect on what activities or causes bring you joy and fulfillment. This could be anything from gardening to volunteering or pursuing a creative hobby. Set meaningful goals. Create goals that align with your values and give you a sense of direction. These goals will serve as your guiding light through tough times. Help others. Volunteering or contributing to a cause can provide a profound sense of purpose and strengthen your emotional resilience. By finding purpose, you can cultivate a deeper sense of meaning in your life, which enhances your ability to withstand adversity and navigate life's challenges with emotional strength, embracing resilience in all stages of life. As we journey through life, we inevitably face challenges, whether they are physical, emotional, or psychological. The key to weathering these storms lies in emotional resilience. By incorporating the 12 principles we've explored in this video: self-awareness, self-compassion, gratitude, embracing change, building support networks, developing a growth mindset, self-care, patience, and purpose, you can develop the strength to not only survive adversity but thrive in it. Resilience is not an innate trait that only a few possess. It's a skill that can be cultivated by anyone, at any stage of life. The key is to be proactive, to embrace the principles that will help you develop emotional strength, and to approach life's challenges with an open heart and mind. Remember, resilience is not about being invincible or impervious to pain. It's about how we respond to the difficulties we face. By building emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to navigate life's toughest moments with grace, strength, and confidence. Thank you for watching, and I hope these principles inspire you to embrace your own emotional resilience. Please leave a comment, share your thoughts, and let us know how you plan to incorporate these strategies into your life. Together, we can grow stronger in the face of adversity and support each other on our journey toward emotional well-being.